Hello, my loves. Today we are going to talk about the real reason, I think the real reason for burnout. Grind culture, no grind culture, some grind, bit of grind, complexity. The prayer is that this conversation gets us to some compassion and discernment and some smarter choices. Speaking of life choices, before we get into it, I've got something time sensitive. Divine timing meets time sensitivity. The heart-centered planners are out. If you want to get this beautiful system in your hands for the holidays in early December, you need to place your orders by September 26th. So you head to daniellelaporte.com/plannerpod. That's planner, PLANNERPOD. And here's how it goes. There's the daily version, the weekly version. It's gorgeous. It's linen. It's mocha. It's spiral bound. We're shipping everywhere in the world. $9 no matter where you live, expedited. Finally figured out that system. I'm printing in Canada. So ethics, morals, no supply chain disruptions. It's just all kinds of beauty. But the deeper beauty is the system itself. Nourishing thoughts, the vision builder, the heart-centered manifesting practice, checking in with your heart and your nervous system on a daily basis. I've got monthly and quarterly reflections around wellness and relationships. This system is tight. It is simplified. It is deep. It's all my best stuff from the last 15 years that really hundreds of thousands of people have gone through, appreciated, given me feedback on. We have refined it. I think it's one of the most useful things I've ever did. So daniellelaporte.com/plannerpod. You order by September 26th. Those babies are in your hand. Holiday gifts, all the things. Oh, and the crescendo of all of this is when you get the planner, you get this heart-centered membership experience package with how to create a heart-centered altar and a set of prayers and rituals, 2 business workshops, and a really incredible workshop I did with my community on how to heal. And the crescendo is we're going to do this vision builder event on the Lunar New Year together. It's super cool. All right, let's talk about when to grind and when not to grind, because that, I think, is the question. If you're online paying attention to all the influencer, creative, entrepreneurial stuff, you can see a new trend and a pushback against grind culture. And I think this is wise. I think this is part of discernment. I also think it's a little bit misinformed. It's a whole lot wise, and some of it is really off base. So we see a lot of chicas out there going against all the bro life hackers who are crushing it and slaying it. And I get it. I want to meet my goals. I'm all about ambition. And I think the dark side of this is these life management systems where we are filling our slots of time every day in order to constantly be on the wheel of achievement. And I can tell you, I myself will never work within a non-negotiable life framework, ever. Every single aspect of my life, my day-to-day, let's say. I mean, my devotion is non-negotiable. My paradigm of wanting to live a heart-centered life, those are the non-negotiables. But I have very few non-negotiables. They are few, they are certain, and they are divinely oriented. The rest of the stuff, totally negotiable. It's all up for me because of seasons, because of surprises, because my inner child may need a little more comfort that day, because the supplement regime or the fitness program that really actually got me results for many months or weeks may have gotten me to a new place and I need to shift, because relationships are dynamic, because chemistry, because flow, because I have to expand and take other things into consideration. I need to be flexible, because love plus flexibility equals true resilience and sanity. Non-negotiable is a recipe for brittle, for actually being closed-minded, and for never really getting to the bottom of the barrel with your shadowy stuff that is driving this fixation with harsh, overly structured frameworks for excessive striving and goal chasing. There, I said it. My loves, we are undoing eons of programming around earning our worth and how we've set it up socially now. I mean, really, this is nothing different than ever before. It's just religion used to play such a heavy-handed role in our productivity. Now it's commerce, because capitalism is the new religion. And now we are connecting our worth to our output and our material and physical results. Money is cool, and muscles are cool, and sales and productivity, it's all cool. But are you at peace with your demons? Or are your demons running your quarterly objectives? Goals that are coming from our unhealed self, the part of us that is striving to prove, are vacuous and going to burn us out. And we might not get that in this lifetime. We may be high achievers. We may crush all the things. We may make all the millions. We may be over Uber, all the things productive. But I wonder about the quality of our relationships in those situations. I wonder if we come back for another ride in this earthly circus and the soul is going to demand that we simplify, accept, and connect. Now, this is not to say, and I'll unpack this in a minute, this is not to say that we cannot be ambitious, wealthy, prolific, and not be heart-centered. I think we can be living lives that are so aligned with soul and can be so abundant. We can be all about faith and seva and loving kindness, and we can be profitable and lucrative and visible and sustained. For sure. My objective is to keep us in love, in common sense, and common sense is the sensibility that includes the goodwill of everybody. So right now we're living in Wacky Wednesday on the planet, and we're doing all sorts of things to the environment and to populations that are clearly the behaviors of people who do not realize that we are all connected, that we are connected to the ecosystem, and that we all come from the same source, and we're going to keep doing this over and over again until we wake up to that. Anyway, let's get back to grind culture. Let's take a soft right turn onto this off-ramp where sometimes you got to grind. So, I see so many well-intentioned wellness folks and teachers going against grind culture like I just did, and thinking that like destiny is just going to show up at your door in flowing robes because you did your manifestation practices, and we just really need to be like bleeding with the earth and trusting the will of our deities. And that is not it either, because you can do the most natural thing, which is fall in love, and there are going to be crunchy times where you're going to have to do some heavy lifting of the shadow content. There is work to be done. You are going to do one of the most natural things, which is give birth. And it's beautiful and it's flow, and there is that time where there is push and there is pain and there is the ring of fire, and that is the whole experience. There is grind in creativity. We cannot leave it behind and make progress. I really want to live a balanced life. I want balanced hormones, and I want a balanced bank account. And I know this sounds ironic, but there is some striving involved in figuring out the balance. arduousness is part of grace, just like doubt walks with faith. So I'm not down with the no pain, no gain necessarily, but I know that most great things require intelligence and robust energy. I think that robustness and that vitality comes from having a higher perspective that we're here to heal. I think it comes from devotion and sitting down or being in sacred movement so that you can hear what your soul is trying to tell you. We have to meditate and we have to launch. We have to flow and we have to push. Sometimes we got to work the weekends. There are seasons to everything under providence. There is a time to grind. So, and this is where I'm going to get to my hopefully helpful thesis. Knowing when to grind and when to rest is part of becoming a mature creative. And we're all creatives. This isn't about being in a particular industry. This is about realizing that you are mostly the navigator, the creator of your reality. So you're constantly checking in with your heart to make sure that you've got these higher desires. You've got this vision that's really on behalf of your soul, of your evolution, of your growth, of healing, of making a contribution. Okay, so check, check, check. Then you're going to engage your heart to bend time, to be in possibility thinking, to know that miracles happen all of the time. You vibe at that level. You attract the right resources, the right people, doors open. And you're going to get in this beautiful dynamic dance of giver and push and rest and trust. You know, I've always said that going with the flow is not a passive activity. You're actually in this rhythm of you're still and you're receptive, you're receiving the higher guidance, and then you move and you act and you climb. You sweat and you glow. You listen, you respond, but you're always moving. You're always moving, just like every particle in the universe is constantly vibrating with life. I mean, this is the beauty of stillness. When you're really, truly still and silent, that's when you're most alive. That's when the prana, the life force, is moving through you unobstructed. That's really the most beautiful expression of creative tension. And here we are. Here we are getting wiser all the time, more connected, more enlightened, more informed, more knowledgeable, more aware, softer, more gentle, more resilient, more radiant, and we're still burning out. What's going on? We've done all the workshops and we're doing all the legit things. I mean, these are all the things that I teach about in the Heart Center membership and our whole heart-centered way, the planner, all the things. We're doing the breathing. We're in community. We have vision. We have spiritual practices. We're devoted. And yet, we're fried. So there's the grace, the grind, and the wisdom to know when to push and when to rest. And then there's these times that we're living in. Exceptional, complicated, toxic, challenging, unprecedented times. We are just learning to adjust to, factor in, account for, dance with this emerging new reality. And I think we have to take this new reality into consideration when we are planning our lives and our businesses. The old ways no longer work in this new space. The climb has become very steep, very jagged, and the oxygen is really thin in this new dimension. The collective nervous system is stretched. There is insanity at a level we have not experienced it before. There is toxicity at a level that we have not experienced before. I believe this is a dark night of the soul for the divine feminine, for Mother Earth. And this is one of the characteristics of a dark night of the soul. We have not been there before. We don't know who we are going to be on the other side, and we're not quite sure the tools that are going to get us through. Grind doesn't work, and grace doesn't quite seem to be working either. So I think our sanity, certainly our survival, I'm more interested in thriving than surviving, depends on our consciousness, on our awareness, on calling it like it is. So for all of us overachievers, I think just to be alive right now and to be well, to be making a contribution, to be abundant, to not be a mess 24/7, I think that is an achievement. So for those of us who have got it together in any capacity, and I know that ebbs and flows and can depend on the month, the day of the week, I think we all would say we could pull all the things off. Our capacity is amazing. Like I say things to myself like, yeah, I could do it, but there's all this political division. Yeah, I could totally do it, but now there's this incredible spread of tyranny and deception. Yeah, I could totally pull it off except for surveillance culture. And then there's Gaza and everything in the Middle East. And then there's Sudan. And then there's the rape in the Congo. And then there's endocrine disruptors. And there's hormone disruptors. And there's plastics in my clothes and in my water. And now there's technology-induced ADHD. And there's friends coming to me, talking to me about their addicted children. And there's really obvious satanic rituals happening on stages and in stadiums with tens of thousands of people. And we're still killing each other over which God we worship. We actually argue about the rules of war. People are still getting uninvited to family functions because of choices with their medical freedom and who they voted for. There's maxed cortisol levels. We're sicker, fatter, more tired than ever. Climate change anxiety is apparently a thing. I think on the heels of that, we're going to have some AI anxiety. There's artificial intelligence. It's leading to artificial intimacy. Multiple times a day, we have robots asking us if we are human. So as an overachiever, committed to love, I thought I would never, ever say, it's all too much. It's just too much. So it's not that you're weak. It's not that feminism failed. It's not that you're broken or unworthy. It's not that striving and ambition are always driven by the ego. It's not that you don't have what it takes. It's not that you were born into a wrong family. It's not that you're defective. It's not because you didn't pay attention in class. It's not genetic. It's not a curse. It's not even necessarily your karma. It's just that this new reality is all too much. And I don't know how that strikes you, but for me, it feels wise. It feels like such a loving, resilient gesture to just call it. For me, this is part of seeing the game we're in and where I am on the game board. And from there, I can be more discerning. I can make more conscious, loving, wise choices. I can decide to rest. I can decide to get the funding. I can decide how to make my nervous system balancing my number one priority. I can choose to work less. I can choose to launch everything with trust. I can decide that I will not panic. I will get more selective. I will hang with people that I resonate with. I will make laughter a metric for most of my relationships. I will rest even more. I will refine. I will upgrade. I will seek God. I will be in temple. I will make simplicity one of my primary spiritual practices in light of the fact that it's all too much right now. I will build community. I will do 4, 6, 8 breathing. Let's do it right now. Empty your lungs, exhale. And then inhale with me for 4 counts. 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. That's 4, 6, 8 breathing. I will just lay on my living room floor and receive what my soul wants to give me. I will get all the things to drink my mineralized, structured water because it's all too much. I will go to bed at 10 o'clock when I can because it's all too much. I will listen to positive music. I will not watch violent movies. I will not listen to misogynistic bullshit rap. I will get myself to the farmer's market every weekend for the cilantro and the lettuce and the gluten-free muffins from that lady I love to talk to because it's all too much. I will not stay up late and order the thing that I do not need. I'll go for a walk. I'll sit in the park with my spine aligned to a tree, and I'll feel that battery energizing from Mother Earth. I'll breathe it in. I'll give thanks. I'll do my right and burns on full moons and new moons. I'll take my salt baths. I'll write my prayers. I'll sing them. I'll chant them. I'll dance them. I'll sweat them. I'll put my right hand on my belly with my thumb in my belly button. I'll put my left hand on my heart center, and I will ask my inner child, my shadow self, the unhealed part of me, what can I do today to help you come into balance? I'm going to do this every day in the morning and before I go to sleep because it's just all too much. And I'm aware enough to know it because I do the work to be aware. So you see, this is the divine balance between the grind and the grace. I am refining my sensibilities. I am deepening my commitment to create conditions of healing. I will rest even more and simultaneously, because wisdom holds both states, I will upgrade my resolve to be successful no matter what. Even though it is all too much, I am more than enough. So, my loves, make some exceptions. Ask for exceptions. Be the exception in these exceptional times. As I know you know, we chose to be here. And we don't have to burn out. I don't think burnout is inevitable. But we do have to adapt. And we only do that with love. And here's the thing, making all of your choices from a place of love will give you an exceptional life, no matter what's going on. So my loves, ultimately, always, we're going to stick together, hold hands, and we're going to go the rest of the way. With love, Danielle. P.S. Remember, I have this tool to help us all stick together and stay sane. It's a heart-centered way. It is the planner system. And if you want to have that sweetheart in your hands by the holidays, first week of December, we're shipping everywhere in the world. Go to daniellelaporte.com/plannerpod. It is the most beautiful, simplified, deep system to help you stay sane when it is all too much. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word with love.